Welcome everyone. I'm Sarah Wheeler, Editor-in-Chief at HousingWire, here with 3 experts to talk about a very timely topic, digitizing the lending experience to optimize margins in a declining market. I have Nicholas Ripple, the Head of Product at Network Funding, Tim Nguyen, the co-founder and CEO of BeSmartee, and Amy Brandt, the president of First American Docutech. Really happy to have you guys here, so let's jump in. And Tim, I'd like to start with you. Maybe you can give us a sort of state of the industry when it comes to the digital mortgage experience and how the POS fits into that.
Yeah, since 2016, we could, in the mortgage space, we can say it's all been about the consumer experience. How do you solve for it? How do you deliver better in a complicated, lengthy process, right? Every vendor has a different way to solve for this. But at the end of the day, the mortgage POS has one objective. Let's not forget this. You take complicated processes, you take complicated data, you have to simplify and translate it to your consumer.
That's great. Nicholas, what were some of the pain points that you were trying to solve at Network Funding, and why did you decide to take the path that you did?
Well, yeah, I think 2016 was a wake-up call, with Rocket Mortgage, push button, get mortgage, but, it's really changing consumer demand. And so, you need to meet the consumer where they're at. I joke that we got 2 customers. We got consumers, borrowers, and then we also got our LOs and our producers. And so, having great technology products and partners that help make that easy and keep us up, it's just going to continue to be changing and evolving. And so you got to link arms with partners that are investing and keeping you up with everybody else.
Tim, how does POS solve some of the pain points that maybe Network Funding has and maybe other people have in the industry?
Yeah, I remember when we first met Nicholas and Network Funding, it was an exciting time. This was early 2016. POS was all the rage. Everyone had a great idea, right? For us, the way we solved the problem is really simple. Try to automate everything. Less keystrokes, less clicks of the mouse, shorter consumer experience, less work for the consumer, easier, faster, more transparent mortgage. That's really what it's all about for us. Now, when you look more broadly, you have to realize that POS is not just the application. It's not just the credit, right? There's the pre-application funnel. There's the pricing and the fees and the aggregation of that. There's the documents that Docutech does. There's the closing process. There's the conditions and uploads, right? It's a wide funnel, right? And when you look at it from that lens, there's a lot of work left to be done, right? The POS touches so many integrations. One of the reasons why, we have about 135 integrations to make it all possible, Docutech being one of our preferred partners.
Well, Amy, I'd love to bring you into this and get your thoughts on the role of that integrating with the documents and the e-signature into the LOS and the POS to really make a better experience for lenders and borrowers.
Yeah, we've talked about creating a simplified experience, and that's really a unified experience. And you do have several constituents and parties involved in the creation of a loan. You have different technology providers and different participants along the manufacturing process. So to the extent that you can unify that in a single UI and make it easier, that's for the best. By necessity, there right now is point of sale tools and loan origination software and other softwares along the way. So at Docutech, where we create documents, we're also creating a unified digital experience across those different systems. Documents start at the very beginning at application and go all the way through closing. So we have the ability to make sure that we're consistently creating accurate data for these documents and pushing that in a bidirectional way in those systems and creating, if you will, a backbone across them, unifying them together. For the e-signature, signing is a very important part of the mortgage process. Customers have to sign things, so do loan officers, so do other parties involved in the transaction. By having a single signing experience across point of sale, LOS, and any other systems, it really creates a level of consistency. So we're excited to see the point of sale systems continue to evolve further into the mortgage process and continue to provide greater and greater lift to the consumer experience and internal efficiency.
Nicholas, what were some of those efficiencies that you gained?
Well, we were partners with both the vendors for a long time, but we brought them together about 2 years ago, and it's not an easy task. And both of them were great to bring that integration together. But we would have the borrower living in the point of sale, and then we would disclose, and they get an email from Solex, Docutech's signing platform, and they'd call us up and say, hey, is this fraud? Should I open this email? Is someone going to steal my identity? So. And just that breakage on the consumer side was tough. And now that it's embedded, It's like any great technology, right? There's a lot happening behind the curtain, but nobody really knows what's going on. So the package is now delivered seamlessly back to the point of sale. The consumer signs, they stay in one spot. The audit data goes back to the LOS. Even complicated things like potentially not having a party that has a BeSmartee experience but needs to sign, the business logic will determine that they still need to sign Solex. So great integration, one of the better ones I've ever had a chance to work on. And again, seamless. Nobody knows really what's happening, but it works as designed.
Well, I'd like to ask each of you, what would you say to a lender who hasn't yet digitized the application process? And also, just in general, like we're going towards that low margin environment. We're in a low margin environment. The future looks like we're going to keep being there with rising rates. What would you tell that lender?
If you don't have a POS, get a POS. And if you have a POS, challenge it, consider what it can actually do for you. If the only thing it's doing is collecting a 1003 and loan data, it's not doing enough, quite frankly. It should help you pre-funnel, in the application funnel. It should help you at the product and pricing stage, at the disclosure stage, at the closing stage. It really needs to function end to end, and those are a lot of integrations. You need great partners like Docutech. You also need good people behind it. When we look at the relationship with an NFLP, Nick's a visionary. He gets it, and it wasn't easy. It took years to get there, and it's a challenge. It's worthwhile. Start now.
I would say when you're assembling a technology stack to digitize your process, ensure that you're selecting partners that work well together. No one partner is going to solve all of the challenges along the assembly process, so making sure that your partners are able to integrate well and create a unified experience is very critical. I would also make sure that I reviewed their roadmap to see what's coming up. Technology continues to evolve, continues to change, and you want to make sure that you pick a partner that's already looking to what's next.
Yeah, I'd say just continue to invest. Software's never done. I like that phrase because people think it is, and it's always changing. And so, and then continue to automate. The highest cost is human labor in our industry. And so anything that can be automated, for example, the integration we did with these partners here, it was one less touch point on a processing team. And, even if it's a 5-minute task, 10-minute task, that adds up. And so to stay competitive and be profitable as things compress, I think you got to focus on automation.
Great conversation. Thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.